Good evening. Tonight on World News, escalation, assertion, and the widening fault lines of global power. From Moscow warning of retaliation after an alleged drone strike near the Russian president's residence, to Saudi Arabia drawing a hard red line on its national security in Yemen. This is World News. Let's begin. Russia is threatening retaliation after claiming nearly 100 Ukrainian drones targeted a residence linked to President Vladimir Putin, an allegation Kyiv flatly denies. The Kremlin says the response has already been planned. Ukraine says this is a fabrication designed to derail peace talks and justify new strikes. More in this report.
Russia says Ukraine attacked Putin's residence. Ukraine says that never happened. And now the world is asking one terrifying question. Will Putin retaliate directly against Zelensky after what Russia calls a terrorist attack? This could be one of the most dangerous moments of the entire war. Russia claims 91 long-range drones were launched at Vladimir Putin's state residence in the Novgorod region. Moscow says they were intercepted. No damage, no casualties. But the political damage? Massive. What Russia is saying? The Kremlin is furious. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov says this was not random. He claims it was meant to destroy peace talks. This terrorist act was intended to derail negotiations. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov goes further, warning that Russia's negotiating position will be revised, military responses have been planned, and the response will not be diplomatic. Then comes the chilling line from Russia's foreign ministry: the answers will not be diplomatic. Let them not get their hopes up. So, here's the question everyone is afraid to ask. Does this put Zelensky directly in Putin's crosshairs? Ukraine's response. Kyiv flatly denies everything. Ukraine's foreign minister says Russia has shown zero evidence. No wreckage, no proof, nothing. Zelensky himself claims Moscow is manufacturing a crisis to justify escalation and sabotage peace efforts. Ukraine's position is clear: no attack, no drones, no truth to Russia's claim. According to the Kremlin, U.S. President Donald Trump was personally briefed by Putin and reportedly said he was shocked.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good. It's no good.
Russian officials
Don't forget, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that, and can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it.
That claim alone has sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles. Now, let's be clear, there is no evidence that Putin plans to target Zelensky personally. There is no confirmation of assassination plots. But historically, when Russia says the response will not be diplomatic, that usually means military escalation, symbolic strikes, or political pressure, not secret hit orders. Still, accusing Ukraine of attacking Putin's residence crosses a psychological red line. This accusation does three things: raises the stakes to a personal level, undermines peace talks, and creates justification for harsher military action. Whether the attack happened or not, the narrative itself is powerful. So the real question isn't, will Putin kill Zelensky? The real question is, how far will Russia go now that it claims the war has come to Putin's doorstep? Because when leaders start talking about non-diplomatic answers, history tells us the next move is rarely calm.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia says its national security is a red line and it will defend it. Hours after the warning, the Saudi-led coalition launched what it calls a limited military operation at Yemen's Mukalla port, targeting vehicles and cargo allegedly supplied by a foreign military to southern separatists. The strikes come amid rising tension with the Southern Transitional Council and fears that Yemen's fragmented conflict could splinter further, drawing in new regional actors. Here's the report.
Yemen, a country already teetering on the edge of chaos, and now, December 30, 2025, Saudi warplanes strike the port of Mukalla. 2 ships targeted, allegedly carrying weapons and armored vehicles, destined for the UAE-backed Southern Transitional Council, or STC. Civilians had been warned. The coalition calls it a limited operation, a measure to stop unauthorized arms. But on the ground, it looks like something much bigger. This strike isn't just about ships or weapons. It exposes a deep fault line between Saudi Arabia and the UAE, 2 countries that have fought together against the Houthis, now squabbling over who gets to control Yemen. Saudi Arabia sees the STC as a threat to national security, demanding UAE forces pull out within 24 hours. In response, the STC declares a state of emergency and blockades Mukalla for 72 hours, halting port operations. To understand this, you need to know who the STC is. Formally established in 2017, they are a separatist movement backed by the UAE, trained and armed to control the south. The UAE's strategy is clear: secure strategic ports like Aden and Mukalla, counter Iranian influence via the Houthis, and possibly create a friendly South Yemen that can guarantee access to oil and gas. For Saudi Arabia, the priority is different. They want a unified Yemen under the Presidency Leadership Council. The STC's separatist ambitions? A threat to Yemen's unity and Saudi border security. The STC is pushing hard. 2025 has been a year of gains. Early December, they take Hadramaut, including the city of Sayyun and its oil facilities. Mid-December, they move into Mahra, disrupting smuggling routes. Late December, they claim Abiyan and other governorates. Nearly half of Yemen is now under STC control, including 80% of its oil reserves. In Saudi, they respond with airstrikes and 15,000 troops on the border. This isn't just a local fight anymore. It's a coalition strain, a power struggle, and a warning that the civil war could escalate. Why does this matter? Because this isn't just about military strikes or oil. It's about history, grievances, and identity. The STC claims they are fighting for Southern self-determination, pointing to the 1990 unification and the 1994 civil war, where southern Yemen felt marginalized. And now, with UAE support, they're close to declaring independence. Protest rallies in Sayyun echoing demands for a southern state. Saudi Arabia pushes back, demanding withdrawals, canceling UAE deals, trying to preserve a unified Yemen. But with the STC gaining ground, the risk of a broader conflict and even regional instability is higher than ever. In Yemen, oil and power don't just drive economy, they drive wars. And right now, the struggle for control, for influence, for identity has just intensified.
Now, from Middle Eastern theaters to open international waters, where Washington is using force to choke off narcotics routes. The US military has carried out another lethal strike in international waters, this time in the Eastern Pacific. According to the US Southern Command, 2 men were killed when American forces targeted a vessel allegedly operated by designated terrorist organizations involved in drug trafficking. The strike is part of Operation Southern Spear, a campaign that has now left more than 100 suspected traffickers dead. Here's the full report.
Tensions between Washington and Caracas are escalating after the United States confirmed another lethal strike on a vessel allegedly tied to Venezuelan narco-trafficking carried out in international waters. The operation, executed in the eastern Pacific Ocean, marks the latest flashpoint in a rapidly intensifying pressure campaign against President Nicolas Maduro's government. U.S. officials say the strike targeted a boat operating along known drug smuggling routes, raising new questions about the scope of America's expanding military actions beyond its borders. According to U.S. Southern Command, the strike took place Monday under the direct authorization of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Military intelligence allegedly confirmed the vessel was actively engaged in narco-trafficking operations while transiting a major smuggling corridor in the eastern Pacific. The Pentagon says 2 men described as narco-terrorists were killed in the operation, while no U.S. forces were injured. In a statement posted to X, U.S. Southern Command described the mission as a lethal kinetic strike conducted by Joint Task Force Southern Spear. The strike now adds to a growing list of deadly encounters tied to Operation Southern Spear. Since the launch of Operation Southern Spear, at least 107 people have reportedly been killed in U.S. strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats. The Trump administration has classified those killed as unlawful combatants, asserting the authority to carry out lethal operations without judicial review, citing a classified Justice Department legal finding. Monday's strike follows another attack just days earlier on a so-called low-profile vessel in the eastern Pacific. It also comes amid a sweeping U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean, including naval deployments, troop movements, and a blockade of sanctioned Venezuelan oil tankers. President Trump says the strategy is designed to choke off narcotics funding and increase pressure on Maduro's inner circle. Earlier this month, U.S. intelligence agencies reportedly crossed a new threshold, carrying out a drone strike on a port facility inside Venezuela itself. President Trump later confirmed a big facility had been destroyed, describing a massive explosion at a dock used to load drug-running boats. He claimed the site's implementation area was effectively wiped out. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has condemned the U.S. military actions, accusing Washington of psychological warfare and outright aggression.
A rare and explosive account from inside Republican politics. Outgoing Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, also known as MTG, says her relationship with Donald Trump fractured after she pushed for transparency around Jeffrey Epstein's criminal network. In a detailed New York Times profile, Greene claims Trump once angrily warned her, and she quoted, "My friends will get hurt," after she threatened to name alleged abusers following closed-door hearings with Epstein survivors. Take a look.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, once a loyal Trump supporter, has revealed shocking details about her last conversation with President Donald Trump. Greene tells the New York Times that Trump warned her against the release of the Epstein files, saying his friends will get hurt. She also said that Trump rejected her suggestion to invite the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse to the Oval Office, claiming they had not earned the honor. According to Greene, this remark came during the last phone call she had with Trump, after she appeared at a September news conference with Epstein survivors on Capitol Hill. During that call, which Greene says Trump initiated, the president yelled at her as she listened on speakerphone. The Justice Department had begun releasing the Epstein files earlier this month, including emails showing that Trump flew on Epstein's private jet multiple times in the mid-1990s. The DOJ also cautioned that some files contain untrue and sensationalist claims about Trump and included images with faces blacked out involving Trump and other high-profile figures. Among the names in the files were former President Bill Clinton, Trump advisor Steve Bannon, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, director Woody Allen, and lawyer Alan Dershowitz. All have denied wrongdoing or distanced themselves from Epstein. Trump has said he was concerned that merely being named in the files could damage people's reputations without proof of wrongdoing. Greene's revelations also shed light on her public break with Trump. She began criticizing his foreign policy decisions earlier this year, including speeding up weapons deliveries to Ukraine and strikes on Iran, arguing they contradicted his America First platform. The final break came when Green became one of only 4 Republicans to sign a petition to force a vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a legislation to release all documents related to Epstein's sex trafficking investigation. She told The Times, quote, "Epstein was everything," implying that her support for releasing the files was the last straw for Trump. This story offers a rare inside look at the fractured relationship between the president and a former ally, and the continuing controversy surrounding the Epstein files. The Justice Department still has more than 1 million documents to review and potentially release, meaning this story is far from over.
So, from war rooms and ports to open seas and closed-door hearings, tonight's headlines carry a common theme: power asserting itself, often without restraint. We will continue to track the consequences, diplomatic, military, and political. That's world news for now. Good night.